Alright, here comes the legend himself. You know his name, you know who he is. Versus the big boy on his trench. Look at the little gobbo hanging out. Grom the White Dwarf. Flashbangs his axes. Harrison versus Cristian. Runesmith. And Felix. All these quarrelers. Dwarf warriors, miners. Versus the Green Tide. And they're pretty, actually, yeah, pretty even in terms of numbers. Not anymore, but still. Grom coming in to do Grom things. Not a bad choice, I think. Although everyone knows that. And it sucks to say, but Wurzag is just. He's viable. He's the best choice. We know this. And it seems like all the other lords really need a buff to actually match him in terms of value. Or just function and everything. Speaking of value, looks like Grom's gonna get some early value here by hitting up these dwarf boys. These miners. Get them. How's the charge look? 700. Not bad for value, not bad. And he's coming back for more. So that's not a bad charge. That's very good, very good. I like it. That's how I usually like to see dwarves get hit. Just hit them, their miners early on, and then with their dwarf warriors, slayers backing them up, you just run around the map. And yeah. And this is one of Harrison's big thing, where he usually just sent, if he's got an army that has healing high armor, something like that, like Cathay, Kislev, shit, even Wars of Chaos, he'll try to usually just take a lore that's unkillable, or with some healing in some sense, and just run it to the second objective, or your main force, hoping to outvalue you. And that's a normal tactic at this point in Warhammer 3. Just unkillable force, it's usually the way to go. Especially when you have the White Dwarf holding you, backing you up with support from all these dwarf warriors, quarrelers, cannons. Grom's just getting blasted by the cannons. And if Grom's getting hit by those cannons that hard, these stone trolls aren't going to be that much better. Yeah, just look at all the arrows fly. Jeez. Well, I guess they're bolts, so never mind. I insult these dwarves. But the sneaky boys come in for the flank. Nasty skulkers should make quick work of those quarrelers. 28 melee defense, 18 melee attack on the quarrelers. They never stood a chance. The ankle shankers will win. The Goblin Fanatics should have actually, yeah, the Night Goblins here really should have went into those ROR Rangers over there. They're not doing themselves much favor. I mean, the loons are nice into those dwarf warriors, and those loons are actually going to hit into his orc boys, so not the best, but not the worst. Still, shutting down his arrows would be, I think, more worthwhile than trying to fight against a bunch of units that they're not going to win against. Grom is just done. Jeez. Not even 5 minutes in the match, and he's already just getting cannon fired. Dwarves are strong. They're really, they're such a pain in the ass. And those miners, oh, deleted the skulkers. Yep. GG's there. Although he's got squigs, goblin riders, goblin wolf riders, and night goblins who snuck into his backline over here. Slayer should be able to catch up. Although the wolf rider should be able to get those cannons. But instead, Cristian just sends them in. He's down 2,000 value, but he could catch up. He's got loons hitting multiple units, the bombs that were going to clear up most of these. And those wolf riders are going to try to push through those quarrelers into the cannons, which I think... I don't know. I think I would have preferred some spider riders to just circle around and poison the slayers. I mean, there's not a lot of units the dwarves can bring to deal with spider riders. They're great skirmish cav. Poison. Shit, if you wanted to, you could bring the armor piercing variant and just go to town on any of the heavy infantry, quarrelers, warriors, everything. And those poor stone trolls. Still around? Wow. He brought a troll of death with him. trying to snipe Grom, but it's not that easy. I guess everyone brings in, yeah, they bring in Thoric, so I'm not surprised that Cristian prepared for Thoric versus Grom. Poor Grommy. But yeah, it looks like this flank is going to go to good old Harrison here. Flappers, though. Flappers coming in with backline charges does sound interesting. I don't know how effective they're going to be, though. You still have the Rock Clobbers on Cristian's side providing good support. But the Dwarf Warriors are getting caught in the open here by these Flappers. And do they do poison damage? I don't think so. No, these aren't those variant. I don't even know if the other variants do poison damage. Just look at this. I think, Cristian, you had a solid units to deal with a lot of this mess. I think you just, the execution wasn't there, man. I mean, you're into his back line with some pretty solid disruptive units. Pretty strong ones at that. And yeah, it's just tough. And they're still getting off some hits on these boys, even though they're routing. Now, how to deal with this situation? You're down. Ooh, Black Orcs. That's a good way to deal with it. All units to the Black Orcs. That's basically what the order was. Rightly so. The Black Orcs will deal pretty well with most things here. Dwarf Warriors, Slayers, Miners. I think if Cristian could ignore Grom for as long as he can and try to get the rest of the other Dwarf Warriors with the Black Orcs, this could go well. Maybe get some Night Goblins in here with some Loons and just nail them. Nail them with those Loons. Because Harrison is going to start charging into Cristian's home objective with those Miners, Dwarf Warriors, and Quarters on his side. He still has cannons going nuts. And the Spear Leech isn't doing him any help because Felix is healing Grom. I think he is. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't play with Felix at all. To be fair, I don't have Felix, so that will do it. And we have the wall coming in. Jeez. Even with the wall's help, it doesn't look like these Black Orcs are getting any support besides that. Oh, well, that and the Rock Clobbers. Yeah, this map is quite wide open, so a lot of charges can go in, and it looks like some Boar Boy Big Guns are actually going to go hit in the backline of those Quarrelers, which is nice, but why Big Guns? I don't know. I'd prefer some regular Boar Boys, because at least they have shields. It'll be better for the charges. Yeah, and you can have more of them for the cost. Jeez. Yeah, Cristian, you're doing some funny plays here, man. Throwing away units. I don't know. Some Loons go into those Slayers, but I think they missed their target. As are Loons destined to do. Trying to get in the back of these Slayers. We're going to just mulch most of these Goblins. Although that Rock Clobber did pretty good damage. And looks like the Dwarf push is slowing down a bit. Just a handful of units. Although there still are Quarrelers. They are low on ammo, though. Although, yeah, some nasty Skulkers just laying in the wake, but they got found out because, yeah, this game, it can be tough. Tough to micro all this. Jeez. Yeah, and the Quarters are they're not wasting, but using the rest of their ammo on units they know they can take out quick. Like the Goblins. And just the Goblins, apparently. There's really aren't any Orcs left. And yes, Tristan's just getting beaten back. Almost up 4,000 value for Harris. Grombriddle's just sitting here having a grand old time. I don't know, I think if this is what he was going for, Grom's not a bad pick, but he's not doing much right now, and for some reason he's here. And I say that because Grombrindle, during the game, actually, this was on our stream, was actually unsummoned, I think, or killed. We don't know because he didn't leave a corpse, but in the replay, he's still here somehow. So I don't know. This is very strange. I don't know if it has to do with the map hack or an update or what, but that's besides the point now because, yeah. Harrison is now pushing in. He's getting the other objective easily. These dwarves' capture weight is insane. And they're pushing hard. Wow. Everything else is either... yeah, there's not much they can do. Horler's just running this game. He only brought 4 of them, which is good. They're doing work. You don't want too many missile units, otherwise you'll get trapped down, bogged down. I will say Cristian did have the tools to deal with this. I really believe it. Maybe not bring the stone trolls next time, or the river troll. Trade it up for some black orcs. The squigs can help support or hit back lines quite easily. Or even just squig hoppers. I find squig hoppers pretty good against most dwarf units. The poison, anti-infantry, armor-piercing, vanguard. Very strong. Don't underestimate them. They might be double the price, or almost double the price of just squigs. But they have more models, health. I think even speed. Charge. They have poison. Yeah. They really give dwarfs a lot of headaches. Nothing but nasty skulkers, squig herds. Usually go pretty good. And yeah, we're gonna fast forward soon because yeah, Cristian's on the verge of getting triple capped. He doesn't have that many units. Matter of fact, Harrison has more units than him. He's trying to shut off the cannons, but I think the damage has already been done. Although he's no longer 4,000 down 4,000 value. Wait, yeah, he is. I can't do math. Yeah. Yep, it's pretty much done here. But we're gonna take a look. Harrison has almost all his units on the field now. Jeez. Those quarters are just so good for what they can do. Trying to capture the side point. As a last desperate attempt. While Harrison makes his final push. And honestly, if Cristian would have just swapped to the other side, I think he would have been fine. Because it would have taken the dwarves an hour to get to the other side. While he mopped up the cannons, quarrelers, the few units that were actually there. And everything here's on foot, so yeah. And maybe some skirmish cav too. Some skirmish cav really are good at picking off units like slayers and quarrelers when they're not looking. Or even just cannons. Especially cannons. Actually, I had a lot of good time taking out cannons with Marauder Horsemen. Although it did take a lot of them, and they did run circles around the slayers. Still, pretty good stuff. Yeah, I know Grom's sitting there in his chariot having a good time partying, but he actually isn't there. Trust me. Otherwise, Harrison would have knocked him out earlier. God, this game is so weird sometimes. Yep, there goes his home objective. He didn't even capture the... or Harrison's home objective. Yeah, this is, it's pretty much it. We're going to fast forward soon, folks. I know I said that earlier, but we're going to do it soon, too. I actually want to see how the rest of this went. And he's down 7 units to... yeah. Yeah, it's going to be it. GG's Cristian. GG's Harris. Son. Alright, let's get to the next piece of information on that value point. See how Grombrindle did. Not bad, not bad. Actually, it wasn't that great. Honestly, he could have just ignored Grombrindle and had a good time. This is where the skirmish cav come into play. Maybe just have a bunch of loons and just destroy. Have him guess where you're going to go and then swap where he isn't. That's the beauty of the Greenskins. Or even bring a big, or the big one. The big one would have done great. There's not much he could do against it. Cannons would have a horrible time trying to shoot at it. Catch him out of position with some spider riders. Who knows? Alright, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Please like, sub. We're trying to hit 1,000 now. Road to 500's over. If you want to come join us on the stream, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time on Fridays. Maybe get your replays in. Join the Discord server. Have a good time. Alright, folks. With all that said, y'all have a good one. Peace and goodbye for now.